States of America. new sponsor of tonight's Chuck the Buck promotion. Don't forget, purchase your cup before the end of the second period and participate in the Ryan's Way Chuck the Buck competition. Ryan's Way, proud to support RPI athletics.
errant pass is picked by Fulton in the neutral zone, but he can't control it. And it's Boom will backhand it over a teammate and sent back down ice as the Panthers change. Fulton now in his own end. Pass to Lil Shegrin, going through the neutral zone, and Lil Shegrin is just going to drop it. Fast break there, able to potentially set something up. The Engineers put it down the ice for icing.
The opportunity there for the Engineers, and a decent shot from the right faceoff circle of Wilkinson, and puck was a good solid shot, but just Wilkinson just quick with the glove and just got the puck to actually trickle over and deflect above the goal.
PEI wins the faceoff in the RPI zone. Shot from the blue line is blocked in front. It's picked up by Armstrong, moves towards the net, takes a shot from the side of the slot, and it's all Kasdorf right there. He smothers it for the whistle.
Yeah, he had the time there as Armstrong just to the left of Kasdorf. Nice solid shot right into the belly of Kasdorf, and there we get a whistle.
Nelson Armstrong, a 6'1" defenseman from Peterborough, Ontario for the Panthers. Just had a lane, decided to take it, but Kasdorf saw the shot the entire way. Now Brown all alone, and he scores! Right off the face-off. The Engineers unable to control it. Had an errant pass end up with Brown all alone in the slot. Nobody in front of him but Jason Kasdorf. He puts it over his shoulder to give PEI a 1-0 lead. Yeah,
I mean, Brown just hanging out there. There's 3 feet to his right, and nice feed from right behind the net. And you leave Kasdorf dry like that, you take a one-time shot and beat Kasdorf up high. And PEI there takes a 1-0 lead with 7:22 here left in the first.
Tyler Brown, a junior out of Westland, Michigan, one of 2 Americans on this PEI squad. As with most of them, a former major junior player. He played for Sarnia of the OHL. Back to action here with 7:05 left in the first period. PEI just taking a 1-0 lead. And it is broken for in the RPI zone. Bringing it across for Leonard. Leonard's pass is picked off in neutral zone by the Panthers, and they send it down ice. Waiting for it there is Neal. He looks up ice, looking for someone to throw it to. That is Bourbonnais. I don't think he touched it along the red line, but they're not whistling icing anyway, so RPI going after the puck. This is McGowan along the near boards now. Looking around, trying to find Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais just taps it with his stick and ends up in the corner. Picked up by the Panthers, and they're sending it down ice across the line, but they're waving off the icing. That's 2 straight icing calls waved off here in the last 10 seconds or so. Engineers moving the puck up ice. This is Neal going after it in the far corner. Goes off a couple of sticks and ends up on Boom's stick as he moves across center ice, across the logo, sending it in. Picked up by Wilson. Nanny tries to make a play, but he falls down while trying to move it. He gets it over to Schrader anyway. Now Schrader can't get around Rickman, and he has to go back to collect the puck near the PEI zone and ends up just back down in the RPI zone. This is Wilson behind the net. Up for Lil Jegrin. Lil Jegrin gets it into neutral zone, up for Nanny. Nanny tries to get the puck around his defenseman. Kind of does. He left it there, but ended up going back to get it. Now Nanny at the top of the slot. Over for Wilson. He was deep in the zone. Nanny grabs it before going out, and now Schrader in the near corner behind the net. Tries to get it up for Wood at the point. Wood gets it across now to Reno. Reno dances in and takes a shot, saved by Wilkinson. That was Lil Jegrin sitting there on the doorstep looking for the rebound. Now Wood whips it around, and that goes just wide. He ended up with the puck on his stick right in the middle of the slot, but couldn't do anything with it. And now PEI is just going to send it down ice where it's Bell to collect for RPI. Engineers getting some good possession here in the last minute or so. Reno, though, however, had a strip from him behind the net, and a save on the elbow really there by Kasdorf. Sends it down into the near corner on a quick shot there by Brenton, I'm sorry. Now Taylor with a shot goes just wide from the blue line. RPI gets it out quickly though, and it's Wood one-on-one with Rickman. And Wood takes a shot, goes off Rickman's shoulder into the corner. And PEI will just grab the puck and just kind of lightly send it down ice as they change lines. They're good at moving the puck without having to go all the way down for ice. And now a shot by Miller. That's directly into the glove of Wilkinson.
Yeah, that shot there for Brent there, it was a really smart shot as they there's a gap in this top left corner on Castor. Castor was actually really quick and actually getting that elbow out and keeping that puck out. And 4:20 here left in the first period.
PEI with a 1-0 lead in this one as RPI wins the faceoff in the PEI zone. DeVito gets up to Fulton along the near boards. Now up for Wood right next to the net. The puck was shot. He was crashing the net. It looked like it might have gotten behind him, but the net dislodged. The referee is saying it's not a goal. I'll have to see this one again. I'm not sure exactly when the contact came and when the net was dislodged, but the puck was getting behind him at some point.
Yeah, that was a solid hit by Bukaboom there from PEI.
Yeah, it looks like the net was dislodged before the puck went out. The puck did go over the line, but it wasn't until well after the net was dislodged. Right. Now you could say that that's Bukaboom's fault for really kind of destroying Wood into the net and Wilkinson there.
It looked like the contact of the goalie caused the puck to kind of trickle over.
But regardless, it's going to be no goal and face-off instead in the PEI zone with 4:07 left in the first period. Miller stands in for the Engineers, and it's Ashley for PEI. Panthers win it. They'll move out of the zone with the pass to Ashley. It's picked off by Leonard. He'll bring it in. He'll just kind of put it on net, sticked away by Wilkinson into the far corner. DeVito behind the net, looking up, trying to find somebody. Ends up with Leonard at the blue line. Leonard takes a shot. It's blocked by Brown, the goal scorer. Goes back out to neutral ice. RPI has to regroup. Volkenfor now with it, just over the RPI blue line. He sends it in. Missed his man on the pass. So it was Miller. Ends up going down the ice for icing.
Pretty good chances in the past minute. They're also the physical play has kind of increased here, especially from PEI. It's solid hits. Now we got the face-off to the right of Castor.
PEI wins that face. I should say just from the far boards on the blue line goes wide. And RPI breaking the other way with it now. This is Miller. Gets it around his man, Tricito, but can't keep hold of the puck and has to bring it back towards the blue line. He'll send it in. That goes around the boards. Girardi will just kind of wait for it, but it never gets to him, and the Panthers now going the other way with it. Puck drops off Duarte, the linesman there. Good break for the Engineers as they're able to pick up the puck. They take it behind their own net. This is Prapavesis coming around the left side. This is across the blue line to La Liberté. La Liberté tries to find Bourbonnais, but he's already moved on, and it's taken by PEI. Girardi tries to move it down ice, but he's being harassed by David Mazurek. Puck squirts out of the RPI zone, and Tricito going back for it now for the Panthers. It's over to Nelson Armstrong. And Geisick tries to move down ice. It's picked off by the Engineers. Prapavesis up for La Liberté. Drops it off to Neal. Neal in the PEI zone, gets around his defender, moves around the net. Tries to drop to Bourbonnais in front, but has it bounce off the net instead. Now Wilson at the blue line up for Bourbonnais. And now Neal along the near boards. Neal back to Wilson, but it's out of the zone. He tries to pass across for Bradley. RPI will have to leave the zone. Bradley just drops it back down as RPI decides to take a line change instead with 2:06 left to play here in the first period. PEI with a 1-0 lead. Panthers now moving it out of their own end. It's picked off by McGowan along the RPI blue line. He sends it down, looking for Schrader. RPI a little bit sloppy on the longer passes here this evening in the first period, at least. Jerry Wilson along the near board. It's up to Nanny along the red line. Now Schrader backs up into his own zone. Schrader curling around trying to find somebody, but he's being blocked off by PEI. Can't get himself through the neutral zone. And Bradley will have to go back and collect in his own end. Nanny along the near boards. Cross-ice pass for McGowan. McGowan skates into the zone onside. Gets it to Schrader. Schrader with a quick shot. And the unofficial first goal of the season is scored by Lou Nanny. Sorry, that was Nanny with showing off his speed by moving into the slot. picking up that quick rebound and rifling it to the back of the net, tying this game at 1.
The shot that came in, Wilkinson just stopped it, but Lou Nanny just kind of snuck in right behind the D, uncovered, unchecked, and he just backhands it in from Wilkinson's left. I want to say they probably went 5-hole there. Nope.
Lou Nanny, the freshman from Edina, Minnesota, gets RPI on the board here late in the first period. That's a momentum changer as a quick shot by Hampton off the faceoff ends up in the seats. So that faceoff should still remain in the RPI zone, or I should say in the PEI zone, regardless of who it went off of. That's a new rule change this year. Regardless of who it goes off of on a shot, if it goes out, the faceoff remains in the attacking zone. Will Jegern wins the faceoff for RPI. Back to Reno. Reno kind of just drops it behind the net. And the battle now is in the near corner between Hampton, Melanson, and Andrews. Sorry, Chicano. RPI will come away with it. Melanson loses it to Armstrong behind the PEI net. And he's still doing battle with it along the far boards. Up to Reno. Reno takes a shot and it's gloved down by Wilkinson.
Still moving puck out to Reno. One-time slash shot, but Wilkinson unscreened, and he saw that all the way through and just gloved it down. That's his baseball there.
Official scoring on the goal for the Engineers is Nanny from Schrader. The senior from Prior Lake, Minnesota, had the initial shot. Nanny just picking up the trash to get his unofficial first goal as an Engineer. Shot by Bokenfor off the faceoff is blocked in the slot. And PEI is going to head back the other way with it. That is Wilgosh going into the corner. He's kind of crunched by Bokenfor. Now La Liberté looking to get it away from Wilgosh. I'm sorry, that's Brenton in the corner. Bourbonnais who comes away with it. Bourbonnais back into the neutral zone. Gets it across. He's still got it. Comes around his defender, cuts right to the net, and a goal! Shot by Riley Bourbonnais, who really made that happen by taking the puck all the way down ice. Puck was saved on the shot by Bourbonnais. Kneels right behind him to lift it up top shelf. And with 12.3 seconds left in the first period, RPI takes a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, Riley Bourbonnais there using a speed coming down from the left side of Wilkinson. And just getting past the D, hooking it in and getting the shot on. Puck came out, Wilkinson didn't know where it was, and Matt Neal just picking up the garbage there, putting it away. And top shelf up high, and RPI gets a 2-1 lead.
Great effort there by Bourbonnais, going coast to coast on that one. Took the initial shot, and then Neal puts it home, putting RPI ahead here in the death throes of the first period. That'll do it. As the Engineers on the backs of two quick goals late in this first period take a 2-1 lead.
It's kind of something that RPI really needed there. And they look, I would say majority of the period is just PEI. They're just controlling and dominating the whole game. RPI just looked flat-footed, was not able to, control the puck and, make nice passes. And they kept getting, just blocking shots. Just they didn't really, most of the time it was either neutralized or in their own zone. And getting that one goal kind of started some energy and some life into them. And we're only in the first period, but RPI there getting the first goal, and then late, and then coming out with another one. It looks like just kind of catching PEI out of off guard a little bit there.
To some extent, it kind of seemed like the Panthers were letting up late, like the period was coming to an end, and they were going to skate off with that 1-0 lead. But RPI, to their credit, really kind of picked it up at that point. And especially with the goal by Neal, had to do with just a lot of just effort, moving the puck quickly down ice in transition. Good things can happen when that's done.
It's a good lesson to kind of not, pull back the brakes when you come into the last period. Of course, it's an expedition play, but let's see how our Engineers come out. We still have 2 periods of play here at the Houston Fieldhouse. After one period, it's RPI 2, Prince Edward Island 1. You've been listening to live coverage of Engineer Hockey at 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
We have 10 seconds left. 5, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Cut it off. 5 towards Jay. Whenever he grabs, he can keep. And Seth, you will count it up. The last donate it to the YMCA. So great. Nice round of applause for tonight's contestant for the Seth Q money machine money grab. Look at the slumping back. Congratulations, Savon Forte. And remember, for all your banking, insurance, and investment needs, visit Seth Q, Houston Street in Troy, and right here on campus at the Redstone Reunion. Hey fans, Ben Jerry's now located on section 21. Don't forget, stop by and grab your favorite flavor from Kyle to Cohen and enjoy your school tonight. Ben Jerry's proud to support RPI hockey.
And we are back here at Houston Fieldhouse. We're in the first intermission play between the RPI Engineers and the PEI Panthers. Your score after one period is RPI 2 and PEI. Hey fans, remember to stop by the Engineers Pro Shop located across from the concession stand behind section 2. They offer shirts, dry fits, fitted hats, unclassic $8 or more. Stop by. Receive a prize with every purchase. RPI's second goal was scored by number 9, Matt Field. It was assisted by number 14, Riley Corbin. And by number 5, Luke Karate. Now that goal was 19 minutes, 47 seconds. RPI's second goal by 9, Neal, from 14, Gordon and 5, Karate at 19:47. Saves in the first period, Connor Wilkinson of Prince Edward Island with 11 saves, and Jason Katzler with 6 for the Engineers. Ryan Twig, proud to support RPI
RPI men's hockey would like to thank the following sponsors: GE, Lowe's, Sefton, CDPHB, The Rock, Boucher and Clark Financial Group, Janney Montgomery Scott, Price Cup, Astro Fence, Yankee Trails, Red Front Pizza, Tri-City Rentals, Dunkin' Donuts, Army, Troy Cabinet Makers, Ben and Jerry's, Warren W. Fain, William J. Keller and Sons Construction, and Tri-City Valley Cats, all proud sponsors of RPI Hockey.
Live calls up. Contact us at wrpi-sports@rpi.edu.
Thank you, Ryan. There's a little bit of truculence at the end of the first period, and that has led to the first penalties of this contest. I'm not certain whether it's going to be considered coincidental or matching, so I guess we'll find out just shortly if we're going to be 5-a-side or 4-a-side to start this second period. But it is a pair of slashing penalties. For RPI, it's Craig Bokenfor, who will have a 2-minute penalty to start the second period, and for PEI, Darcy Ashley, the freshman from Alberton, Prince Edward Island, will do 2 minutes of shame right alongside Bokenfor. Does look like there's 5 skaters out there for the Engineers, but there's only 4 for PEI, so it may just be one straggler heading back to the bench. Does look like it'll be 4. 1, 2, 3. Nope, that's 5. Well, now it's 5 for PEI and 4 for the Engineers, so they're trying to figure out exactly what the deal is going to be. Now Brenton will skate off for Prince Edward Island, and we will skate 4-on-4 for the first 2 minutes of the second period now underway. RPI skating left to right now across your radio dial as we start the second stanza here in this exhibition matchup between RPI and PEI. Puck behind the RPI net, and it'll be sent down into the neutral zone. It's picked up by Rickman for the Panthers. Intercepted by Prapavesis, who tries to drag it across the blue line. Can't. Rickman now spins around, sends it off the boards by the RPI bench, heads back into the RPI zone, and RPI just sends it back down ice. Bukaboom gives chase, and the whistle blows for icing with 19:25 left in the second period.
Slashings were the call. Both of them getting slashing at the last minute, and that was, of course, as you mentioned, the scrum at the end of the period. Matching minors, 5 aside, face off here to the right of Castor.
Actually 4 aside for the first 2 minutes. Get to see a little bit more open ice here to start the second period. I'm sure both these teams playing exhibition style don't mind getting an opportunity to play some open ice hockey. Pass ahead for Neal is broken up by PEI, heads back behind their own net. D-to-D pass hits Armstrong, and now heading up ice with it is Wilgosh. Wilgosh tries to get it around Karate. He has to get himself off the puck to do so, and it's picked up by Reno, who's now across from Karate. A shot from the point goes wide. That is Jason Kasdorf still between the pipes for the Engineers. We'll see if we see Scott Diebold or Jake Sofer later on in this one. A shot from the point by Tracito, and that is all Kasdorf as he covers up.
He saw it the whole way there, straight on and straight into his chest. He didn't have to move much at all. Maybe just fall down and take the whistle. 48 seconds here remaining on the penalties there. 8:47 left in the second.
Panthers win the face-off. Bukaboom backhands it back down into behind the RPI net. Wilson and Bradley trying to dig it out. And it's back to Bukaboom at the top. I'm sorry, that's Babineau at the top. And send it down. Comes around for Metcalf at the blue line. Metcalf now along the blue line. Takes a shot that's blocked in front by the stick of Wilson. And Engineers now going the other way with it. This is Lil Shegger and gives to Nanny at the blue line. Nanny with a goal here tonight already. And a shot by Wilson goes just wide of the net. Comes back around. Bradley waiting for it. Doesn't get to him. McIsaac brings it out and it's picked up by Lil Shegger in the neutral zone. Wilson dumps it in from the red line. Wood gives chase as RPI changes behind the play. Wood controlling the puck with Metcalf trying to pull him off of it. And here come the reinforcements for RPI. This is Hampton. Round drops it for Mellinson. Now Wood goes to the backhand, drops it for Hampton, and Hampton with a shot from the bottom of the far face-off circle. And that goes right into Wilkinson for the whistle.
Yeah, it was a great feed out to Hampton there. To the right, and he had some time unchecked. So he had some time to take a shot, but Savage there is the goaltender of our PEI saw it through.
Phil Hampton now taking this face-off. He's playing as a center here tonight, although he's been a defenseman for his first 2 years at the Institute. He's appeared in only 14 games thus far. But RPI has a glut, really, at the defensive end of the ice this season. Puck down in the RPI end, picked off by Wood in the slot. He sends it all the way down. Mellinson giving chase, but will be blown down for icing.
Correction there, Wilkinson there is in net for PEI, and Kastorf is in the net still for Engineers.
17:28 left in the second period. We're back to 5 aside. And Hampton again in to take the face-off. PEI wins. Back to Rickman at the blue line. Rickman sends it wide of the net, well wide of the net. Picked up by Bell. Drops it for Wood. Wood trying to pull it out along the far boards. Just gets it out of the zone. Rickman trying to keep it in, sends it all the way down, but the Panthers will have to touch up. That gives RPI the opportunity to collect it. And now they're moving out of the zone. Here comes Wood. Wood comes across the red line, across the blue line. And that shot is in for, that pass is in for Hampton, who was moving across the slot, but he wasn't able to pick it up. And the Panthers moving back down ice. Intercepted by Karate near his own blue line. Karate tries to float it to Melanson. He can't grab it. Now Melanson has it back up to Karate, who moves in towards the slot, can't get a shot off. And now PEI sending the puck down ice. This should be icing, and it will be.
Kind of a drop pass that was supposed to be going to Karate, at least then. And Karate wanted to get back to his point and kind of just left it up for PEI. And then PEI had the opportunity to kind of break out and no pressure and end up getting icing for that.
It was certainly as offensively courageous as you'll usually see Karate. He doesn't frequently move too far from his blue line, but he ended up really close to the top of the slot at that point. Had a decent opportunity to shoot it, but he whiffed on the shot. PEI wins the faceoff in their own end. And bring it up ice where it's picked by Bradley along the blue line. And he'll send it back for DeVito. DeVito behind the RPI net. Back over for Wilson. Wilson drops it to Bradley. Bradley moving up ice with it. Chris Bradley taking a shot. Goes off Armstrong's stick and up into the netting. And that'll be a face-off down in the PEI zone.
Seeing a more lively team here for the Engineers. They're kind of breaking out much better. And setting up a little better plays and putting pressure as now is to kind of have the most of the momentum into the PEI zone. 16-16 here left in the second period. RPI with a 2-1 lead.
Coach Appert mentioned before the game that he wanted to get the defensemen into the offensive mix a little bit more, and they certainly have so far in this exhibition game. As RPI wins the faceoff in the PEI end. Neal with it along the near boards. There's 3 Panthers there trying to get it away from them. They successfully get it back to Tracito. Now Tracito being bugged by La Liberté on the forecheck. Panthers give it up in the neutral zone. RPI moving back down with it. A shot by La Liberté goes wide. Penalty coming up on PEI. They will touch up, and a penalty.
Say a hook is a call.
Looks like a hooking call against the Panthers, although they could have gotten an extra slash there on the end on D'Souza, but it's going to be Tracito going off for hooking. We'll see the first full power play for either of these two teams here tonight. A 2-minute minor for the defenseman from Oakville, Ontario. Number of residents of Oakville, Ontario. There's 2 on the Panthers squad, and there's 3 on the Engineers. So it's Oakville night here at the Fieldhouse. Bradley along the blue line after the Engineers win the face-off. There's Bourbonnais over to that's goal. Shot scored by Victor Liljegren. Liljegren grabbing the puck just at the bottom of the far face-off circle. Just whips it by Wilkerson, giving RPI a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, and I think Wilkinson there didn't even see that play happen. It was a nice tic-tac-toe play. It was quick one-time passes from the right face-off circle behind the net and then out front, and he just kind of whipped it. And I don't think Wilkinson was kind of expecting it. I don't think he was like completely level with his guard pad down and just snuck it right under him.
RPI did not waste any time on that power play, putting it in to give themselves a 2-goal edge here. 2 of RPI's 3 goals scored by freshmen, with Lou Nanny and Victor Liljegren now for RPI. Bradley Bell with the puck in the RPI zone. Dumps it to Schrader along the blue line. Tries to find McGowan along the PEI blue line, but it's picked up by Mazurek. And now McIsaac trying to move it forward, intercepted by Schrader. Schrader pushes it ahead for McGowan. McGowan will just lift it into the zone from along the blue line. Mazurek gives chase. Mazurek now setting up behind his own net. He'll just stop there. Leaves the puck off for Babineau. And now PEI gains the red line, sends it down ice. Bell goes behind to try and grab it. He loses his footing, but it's taken by Reno. Reno around for Nanny now by the far boards. Panthers player goes down, that's Tracito. And the puck squirts behind the RPI net, picked up by Reno. Reno up for Schrader. Schrader now to Nanny, gets dropped along the logo. But RPI keeps control of the puck, and it's just lifted in. That's a shot on net, saved away by Wilkinson. And now PEI looking to go the other way with it. Andrews picks it up, brings it across the blue line. He has a player with him, but Fulton strips him of the puck. He'll drop it back for Karate behind the end line. Karate up for Prapavesis, can't grab the pass. It's picked up by PEI. They shoot it wide of the net. And now the Engineers with it again. DeVito up to Miller across the logo. Now moving with it is Fulton. Fulton tries to do a move and loses control of the puck into the far boards. And that is Miller got taken down. And the puck now in the far corner. Panthers digging it out. That's Tracito. DeVito gets put down on the ice by Armstrong after going for the puck. Now DeVito and Armstrong battling along the far boards. Armstrong with a wicked slash to the back of DeVito's leg. No call. I'm going to say this is icing on PEI, but Jimmy DeVito, big time slash by Armstrong after he lost the puck battle.
RPI's goal there at 4:32. Liljegren And it's just going to DeVito and Bourbonnais.
Giving RPI a 3-1 lead now. The Engineers lose the faceoff in the PEI end. Andrews brings it across the logo. Gets it up for D'Souza. D'Souza tries to take a shot. That looked like it was blocked by Wood in front. And now Melanson along the near boards. Up for Bradley. And now Wood bringing it across the red line, trying to move quickly into the zone. He got Hampton with him, drops it for Melanson in the slot. He whiffs on it, and it just kind of trickles into the crease. It doesn't much matter at that point because the net went flying. And the faceoff comes up now. Looks like it's going to be coming out of the zone.
That was a great breakout right there. A great opportunity, good passes, but you know that puck just going just a little. I think it was too much inside on Melanson there, and the pass came out too close to skate, so he couldn't really get a nice, decent shot on that. But he kind of whiffed. The puck was laying behind, and of course, player going to the goalie, taking out the goal off, and here it's going to be. I'm going to say it's on RPI, so the faceoff will come outside of the zone.
La Liberté and Wilgosh on the draw, won by La Liberté. Bokenfour gets it and sends it right back down. Leonard will give chase along the far boards. And he'll chase it all the way back into the end boards. He's still chasing after the puck. La Liberté grabs it by the blue line, sends it back down. Bourbonnais now fighting for it for the Engineers. PEI grabs it and breaks back down the ice. Wilgosh is there. He's racing to get the icing negated. Tries to center it, but a good move by Bokenfour to push it out of the way, and the streaking player was Ashley. Slides into Kasdorf, and that's a whistle.
Yeah, gotta be careful there. He kind of slid out, lost control, and it's 5 feet there, and he just went skates first into Kasdorf's right pad.
It was an excellent play by
defensively.
Bokenfour right in front with the headman centering pass. Get that stick to side into the corner before Ashley came streaking in there looking for that one-timer. McIsaac and La Liberté take the face-off right outside the zone, and Mazurek and Bourbonnais are exchanging pleasantries. Mazurek decided to slash Bourbonnais' stick. Now Mazurek is being talked to as Bourbonnais goes in now to take the face-off as La Liberté was moved out. Face-off won by McIsaac, and he sent it directly back down into the RPI zone. But the referee's being a little bit cautious with blowing the whistle for penalties. We've only seen 3 of them so far. RPI capitalizing on one for a power play goal as Neal gets it up ahead. He's got La Liberté in front, drops it for Bob Bourbonnais. La Liberté had a wide open net, couldn't pull the trigger. Good back checking there by PEI. Gets the puck out of there as they move down ice now 3-on-3. McIsaac glances it off Bell into the corner. Now the puck moving behind the RPI net, picked up by the center, La Liberté. Bell and Reno now down there as the puck squirts loose. And Kasdorf moves to his side to grab it. Looked like it was still loose, but he's the beneficiary of a quick whistle as it got right behind him, although to the side of the net. So the puck wasn't in danger of going in, but it was certainly a heart stopper there for Kasdorf, who didn't know where it was.
He read that too. He knew he was going to go short side on him, and he guessed right and got the stoppage, the block on that. But yeah, I think it hit out the post, and it was just hanging out right behind him. And ref lost sight of it and blew the whistle.
11:48 left to go here in the second period. RPI with a 3-1 lead. Shot from the point by Tricito. That's kicked away by Kasdorf into the corner. Schrader is there to pick it up. He gives it off for Prapavesis, who comes up ice with it. Prapavesis sometimes looks like a center moving the puck through the neutral zone with ease. He gets Schrader along the near boards. He tries to send it into the slot, but it's picked off by PEI. Now they're moving the puck, trying to head it back down ice. And this is going to be icing. I don't know what they were thinking there. They were well behind the red line, and that puck just went through everyone. No Panthers in sight of that pass.
11:20 here left in the second period. RPI with a 3-1 lead over PEI. That's Prince Edward Island Panthers. University of.
Just a reminder, you're listening to live coverage of Engineers Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. My name's Tom Reel, joined tonight by Ryan Clark. RPI with a 3-1 lead here on the back of goals by Lou Nanny, Matt Neal, and Victor Liljegren. 2 out of the 3 markers coming from freshmen appearing in the cherry and white for the first time here in this exhibition matchup. Fight for the puck along the far boards in the neutral zone. And it's one backwards to Karate. Kind of makes a move, but he doesn't bring the puck with him. He goes back to grab it. Sends it down. It's picked up by Miller. Miller with a tight angle shot that goes off the side of the net. And now PEI coming the other way with it. D'Souza along the near boards. Makes a nice move to try to get around Bradley. Drops it off in the near circle. Now back to D'Souza. And it's stripped away by Fulton. Fulton coming the other way with it now, but loses the handle along the red line. And PEI now coming back with it. Armstrong brings it in, but he's offsides.
Face off here. Just come outside of the zone. 10:29 here left in the second period.
Looks like it'll be Lil Jegrin facing off against Andrews. And we'll call that a win for RPI as it gets back to Bradley. Bradley off the near boards. He's picked up by Melanson, who streaks into the zone all alone. He's got Wood with him, and he drops it for Wood, but Wood just falls over trying to grab the puck. As they announce that Scotty Diebold has entered the net for RPI off that last break. The senior from Buffalo now in net for RPI. He's quickly called on as D'Souza backhands it directly in front of the crease, but no, not a problem for Diebold.
Little Jegrin there from Stockholm, Sweden. We actually have an addition among the other 4 flags, Swedish flag here, along with Slovakia, Finland, and of course the United States and Canada.
And Finnish flag for Heidi Huhtamaki of the women's team. The Slovakian flag for Milos Bubela on the men's team. Not dressed tonight, but expects to be a key element in the RPI offense this season. Face off in the RPI zone is won backwards by PEI, but they have to go all the way back down into their end to grab it. New netminder for the Panthers is Maverick Parks, a senior from Eganville, Ontario. As a shot comes in from D'Souza, that goes wide of the net. Looks like that might have glanced off of somebody in front. RPI now behind their own net trying to move it out. It's picked off by Andrews. Andrews gets it up to the point for Bukaboom. Bukaboom fakes a shot, and La Liberté kicks it into the PEI bench. That'll keep the face-off down in the RPI end.
Bukaboom there was a little hesitant on taking that slap shot and let defensive Bokenford there get in and taking the block.
Bukaboom, a 2010 draft pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning, a third rounder. Not often you see third rounders playing Canadian college hockey. Nanny gets tripped up off the face-off in the whistle PEI as Lou Nanny draws the penalty.
Yeah, Ashley seemed to kind of stick out his legs, or almost like try to act like he's accidentally falling. I'm not sure whether he was actually pushed out or that sort of thing, but his legs came out. Lou Nanny got tripped up, and a call was made.
Nanny went down to the ice with some grace, we'll say. But it's the second power play for RPI. They're 1 for 1. They converted rather quickly on their last opportunity as Darcy Ashley hits the penalty box for the second time tonight. PEI wins the faceoff, sends it all the way down ice, and the RPI power play unit will get themselves set up. Lil Jegrin is out there with Leonard, Bradley, Bourbonnais, and DeVito. Lil Jegrin moving it across the red line. Tries to push it in. DeVito will give chase near the end boards. Picked up by Wilson. Wilson back to Bradley. Bradley takes a shot that's blocked by Bukaboom, and Bukaboom is going to, Brenton, run all the way down ice. A shot shorthanded into Diebold, makes the save. And now we're going to get a tripping call coming up here as Brenton went flying into Diebold as soon as he came down ice, but they're going to say that Bradley was the one that put him down on the ice. It was a kind of a mini breakaway, more of a one-on-one. But Bradley's the one hitting the penalty box. We'll see 4-on-4 hockey for the next minute 18. Not really much gotten going there for the Engineers on that power play.
He got the shot off, but as he kind of was swinging around his stick to try to block the shot, he caught his skates and went out. And that's a penalty there for the Engineers.
Andrews wins the faceoff for PEI. Puck comes back to him, but it's taken by Prapavessis behind the RPI net. Now the pass is to La Liberté, skates through his own slot. Now for Prapavessis at the red line, taken by La Liberté. He moves in, takes it to the backhand, looks like it's over the net. Is that in? puck's in the net.
I think it did, and I might even want to review it just for fun, but I don't know if they will have cameras for this. But, I mean, from our angle, it's kind of tough, but that was a great move by Jacob Laliberte to get that backhand there. And I also got to get a lot of credit for Wilkinson there, and he's just swiping it out. But they're not going to take a look at this. I would love to see this, actually. We got some instant replay here. If you do not have your video, we're going to have to explain it to you.
Liberté went to his backhand real nice. Switched hands, and
here's a top-down view.
Looked like it went in. I thought Parks was down, and the puck was behind him. But
no, it was a good save, actually. Top-down view. He got it right well before the goal line. Well done, Wilkinson.
RPI with a decent opportunity nonetheless as they win the face-off in the PEI end. Liberté now at the near face-off dot. Tries to take a shot. It's blocked in front, and Armstrong's going to go back with it the other way. They are 3-on-2 if they hurry. Armstrong takes a shot, saved by Diebold, but the rebound came dangerously out towards Tricito. He wasn't able to get a handle on it, and RPI ends up getting it back down ice. 7:55 left here in the second period. We're 4-on-4 for the next 20 seconds. Then we'll see a short power play for the Panthers as they bring it into the RPI zone. Reno gets his man D'Souza off the puck. Neal sends it across ice for Wilson. Wilson getting it up for Fulton. Fulton across the logo. Tries to bring it in, loses the puck in his skates. And Neal will regroup in the neutral zone. Back up for Fulton across the blue line. Fulton on the near boards. Looking up, trying to find someone to pass it to. He's got Reno as the RPI Engineers now on the penalty kill. It's kind of a weak shot in by Wilson. It's gloved away by Parks.
Let's go back to the opportunity there, the PEI. That was a shot that was made, and I don't want to say a shot. It almost, the direction would look more like a pass, but it was had the power of a shot, and it got deflected off an Engineer's skate, and it came right in on the pad of Diebold, and I don't know if he intentionally tried to deflect it. I don't think he was anticipating it, but he actually blocked it away to the other side, and Tricito right there just missing the opportunity.
It's not the place. I mean, sometimes you have to make a quick decision as a goaltender. You end up putting the puck somewhere you don't want to. But
first thing first is to block the shot.
Exactly. So. Keep the first shot out and worry about the second one later. Prince Edward Island now on a short power play. They've got 20 seconds left on it, and they're have possession down in the RPI end. Puck comes up to Armstrong at the blue line. And pass is intercepted by Leonard, and he'll just scoop it and send it back down ice. That should do it for the Engineers' penalty as Bradley stands up and gets ready to head out. PEI just brings it back behind their net. They won't be able to get it back down ice before the end of the penalty, and the penalty expires. They send it down ice, and Bokenfour now grabs it, and he just quickly wings it all the way down the ice. This is going to be icing by about a mile. And it goes behind. Parks scoops it up, and it's an icing before he gets to it.
There's the referee lines are kind of discussing this here. Icing looks like it definitely is a call. And here, looking at the shots on goal, 18-12 in favor of RPI.
Faceoff's going to come back to center ice, I guess, because they're going to say that Parks touched the puck before the skaters reached the faceoff dots. So a break for the Engineers there. Metcalf with the puck after the Panthers win on the faceoff. Bell, a D-to-D pass across. Can't find his man. A shot comes from the point, and that's from...
There's a stick that came up on Diebold, and they're not happy about it.
Yeah, Diebold made the save on the shot by Babineau from the blue line. And there's some pushing and shoving going on directly in front of the RPI goaltender. You're going to see that anytime somebody gets close to the goaltender, usually their teammates are going to come right to the aid.
Stick just pops up right there. That's McIsaac.
Face off won by the Engineers. Bradley Bell up to Melanson, who tries to stick it out of the net but didn't really get a good feel for the puck on that pass, and it's taken by PEI in the neutral zone. Parker ahead looking for McIsaac in the slot, but it's intercepted by Reno. RPI gets it out. Little Jagrin now across the blue line. As Wood with him, drops it for him. Wood drops it off, but there's nobody home. It's taken by Parker, and Parker will get it up for Metcalf across the RPI logo. And Wood just blew up Metcalf. Open ice hit. And it helps RPI get the puck back. Melanson back to Wood. Now Wood still throwing his body around near Metcalf.
Metcalf there. Yeah, he got his retaliation.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to take Wood at least here. Well, nope, just Metcalf. That's what happens. You can get embarrassed at center ice if you want. And it looks like that was Metcalf coming back along the RPI boards to try and hit Wood back. Sometimes you just got to take your licks. That was a terrific open ice hit by Wood. Just, I say blew him up. He was just flayed out and charging the call. That's what happens when you take a couple of deliberate strides, and that's certainly what he wanted to do. He wanted to get back at him. Instead, he's put his team in a hole. And Junior out of Oakville, Ontario. And there's Oakville once again. He's going to sit for 2, and RPI goes back to the power play. They're 1 for 2. Face-off won by PEI. Parks will just put it behind his net. RPI able to keep it in at the point, but it's now sticked out by McLaughlin. He'll head all the way down ice. First one there is Richard, though. He'll grab it and just try and kill a little bit of time. Bokenfour and Neal now battling along the far boards with McLaughlin. Come away with it. Neal looking to break out of the zone. Neal will bring it across the logo. Has to drop it for McGowan. The pass goes wide, so they've got to collect it and circle back. Bokenfour, the weak pass is picked up by D'Souza in the RPI slot, and ultimately Diebold has just got to cover it up. That's just an errant pass by Bokenfour that PEI pounces on. They had a scoring opportunity. Diebold didn't have much of a shot.
Kind of looked like Bokenfour that just fell on the PEI stick, and just as the puck was kind of laying out there. I mean, it's a smart move, and if you're going to fall on someone's stick, I guess, I suppose,
Exactly. Diebold didn't really have much of a chance to do anything with that other than to cover it up. So with 1:24 left in the power play, a face-off in the RPI zone won by the Engineers. Bradley behind the RPI net, brings it around the left side. Drops to Leonard. Leonard now coming out along the far boards, across the red line and dump it in. Liljegren giving chase. Liljegren doesn't get to it first, but RPI still doing a good job of keeping it in the zone. Bradley there bounces it off of his skate and passes it to DeVito. DeVito now bringing it around the back of the PEI net. Gets to Bourbonnais in the corner. Bourbonnais backhands over to Leonard. Leonard skates along the blue line, drops it back to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais takes a shot that goes off Tracito and into the corner. It's DeVito picking up there, and now Bourbonnais back to Leonard again. Leonard tries to pass back to Bourbonnais. Now Liljegren over for DeVito. Back to Bourbonnais along the far boards. Liljegren with a quick one-time shot in the slot. Saved by Parks. Kept in by Leonard at the blue line. Leonard whiffs on a pass, then gets it over to Bourbonnais along the far boards. Bourbonnais trying to get it to DeVito. It goes off Tracito, but Bourbonnais gets it back in the end. This is Leonard now along the blue line, moving backwards, taking a shot from the point, and that gets through everybody, and Parks makes the save.
Leonard there backtracking to the blue line, trying to find a channel to make it through, and also a screen on the goalie, and then take a shot, but the Parks there, the new goalie there for PEI, saw the shot all the way through and just gloved it in.
12 seconds left on the PEI penalty. Some good power play cycling there for the Engineers, especially on that far side of the ice. Neal now to Bokenfour after the win. Bokenfour takes a shot that goes just wide of the net on the far side. Now La Liberté trying to center it from Neal. Goes off a PEI defenseman, and they're able to grab it and get it out of the zone. Power play is over. Teams are back to 5-on-5. RPI now 1 for 3 on the power play. As La Liberté is a cross-ice pass for McGowan, who brings it into the zone. McGowan chasing the puck down into the far corner, into the end boards. Now La Liberté gets it back to the point for Prapavessis, who winds up a shot. That's saved to the side by Parks. And La Liberté goes in for it again, gets it back to Prapavessis. He kind of drops it in there. The puck kind of squirts after it deflected off McGowan. And Parks is just going to scoop that up for the face-off.
Yeah, trying to feed there to McGowan or Neal, whoever's there, but neither one. Puck just trickled down slowly. Parks just covers it, takes the face-off. 3:17 here left in the second period. RPI with a 3-1 lead over PEI.
Lou Nanny, one of the goal scorers, settling in on the face-off circle. Puck's one back, but it's Schrader who goes back and grabs it. And he gives it up for PEI. They're coming up ice 2-on-2. Here is Wilgosh losing the handle on it in the corner. Engineers pick it up and go quickly the other way in transition. This is Schrader moving quickly through the neutral zone. Gets rubbed off the puck by Metcalf, who looks like he's still got a mean streak in him after coming out of the box for that charging call. And now Bradley with it along his own blue line. Lofts it back over with a saucer pass to Wilson. And now Rickman for PEI along his own blue line, just backhands it towards the RPI end. Bradley goes back there to pick it up, and he sends it behind the net for Schrader. Schrader and Hampton are over there. And it is Bradley that comes away with it. Puck ends up going all the way down ice after the win, and it'll be icing on the Engineers.
And that collision there on the blue line caught linesman there off guard. That's DeMarty taking almost a full blunt right into the boards. We get a chance here to take with officials. Referees of the game, Marty Hughes and Christy Pitty, and linesman Nick DeMarty Jr. and Anthony Penny.
PI with a face-off win in the RPI zone. That's Babineau on the far boards with Hampton in his way. Hampton trying to do something with it. PI sends the puck through the slot, nobody there. Now a shot by Metcalf is intercepted in the slot by Hampton. And another quick shot from the blue line, and that's smothered by Diebold for the whistle.
Now, that was a great read there as RPI was trying to break out. It was a great read there. Metcalf and grabbing to the blue line, and I think maybe he was either trying to get a rebound with the goalie, but kind of a loft onto the goal and just covered it up, took the whistle.
2:05 left here in the second period. RPI with a 3-1 lead on the University of Prince Edward Island. Exhibition action here at Houston Fieldhouse as RPI gets themselves into their 2014-2015 season. Parker Reno has the puck behind the RPI net. It's taken by Bell. Now Miller up for Fulton. Fulton comes across. He's got Miller and DeVito with him. Miller now in the far corner. Gets pushed off the puck by Parker. And it's picked up by Fulton. Tried to pass up to the point, but it went out. Bell and Reno retreat for RPI. Bell now directly behind the RPI net as he waits to set up as the forwards start changing. Little Zegrin is now out there on the ice. He's got Fulton. And now the pass up to Melanson, who's already shown some speed here in this game. He's got in the near corner, gets it up to Leonard at the point. Leonard whips a shot and scores! That got through everyone. Just a wicked slap shot by Curtis Leonard off a nice pass by Drew Melanson. That hits the back of the net. Puts RPI up 4-1. Just a blistering slap shot from Leonard.
Leonard taking a shot. I almost kind of feel like he got deflected by a Fulton or
might have been Melanson.
Yeah,
he might have run back towards the net. He just stepped right up to the top of the slot. Did that go off of anybody in front?
It's hard to tell.
Lil Zegrin was skating around the area, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. We'll say Leonard for now. We'll see if that changes. Sometimes when the puck comes from that far out, it didn't look like the puck changed trajectory that much, but regardless, RPI takes a 4-1 lead here as we enter the final minute of the period, and once again, RPI with a late goal gets this crowd fired up. RPI now fighting for it down along the near boards in their zone. Wood runs down into D'Souza. And now here comes Lil Zegrin along the far boards with it. And he has it stripped, and now D'Souza coming back with it 1-on-2. He has to wait for his teammates to come back. That's Andrews. And now they whip it across, and some heavy hitting going along the far boards. Jake Wood is down and getting up very slowly. Penalty is coming up on PEI. Wood is up and skating very gingerly off the ice. It looks like we're going to have a penalty for that hit on Wood, who certainly has displayed his physical side here this evening, as he did for much of his freshman year. But he was the recipient of that one, and it looks like he's going to be heading back to the locker room early, although there's only 9.6 seconds left in the second period. That is Bukaboom, who is in the box for PEI. So Jake Wood probably a marked man after that tremendous open ice hit on Metcalf earlier here in the period. It's Bukaboom now going off. Let's see what the call was. Looks like they're trying to decide the length of the penalty here. Referees are conferring with both captains. That is Karate and Wilgosh. And there's only going to be a 2-minute penalty on Bukaboom, and the crowd not terribly happy with that. But we are here at the very tail end of this period with this 9.6 seconds left. Face-off coming up in the PEI zone. Okay, it's been amended. I guess it's a major penalty now. just a minute on the board as announced, so Boom with a 5-minute major. That'll give RPI some pretty good power play opportunity to start the next period. And a shot comes in that goes just wide with just about 4 seconds left. Now another opportunity by Neal. Let's see who made that. I think it was from Bocafor at the blue line. RPI not wasting any time, even with very little time left in the second period. But when we start the third period of play, RPI with a 3-goal lead and 4:51 of major penalty power play. They're looking pretty good.
Yeah, Engineers there seemed to bounce back in the first period, also getting those 2 goals, but they came out with another 2 goals in this set and taking a 4-1 lead. Going to that goal there was 18:52, that's 4th goal. And Curtis Leonard getting the goal, and Drew Melanson getting the assist with Bradley Bell, I believe the second assist there. The 5-minute major is going for elbowing. And,
the crowd serenading
right?
Boom as he takes off on the ice. Wilgosh last off, the captain.
Now, is this the game misconduct where did he leave the ice?
Well, it says that PEI has 5 penalties for 13 minutes, so it looks like they're just giving him just the major. So he'll be in there until the end of his penalty, and then he comes out. So usually in college hockey, when a major is handed out, you're apt to see a game misconduct at least tacked onto it. Not the case here. So we'll see Brock Boom later on in this contest. But RPI certainly looking good with a 3-goal lead and just under 5 minutes of power play to start off the final period.
And that's power plays here, the 1 for 3 for the Engineers. This will be their 4th power play opportunity. That starts with a 5 major, so if they score, they can continue on scoring or maintain the man advantage, pending any penalties that go RPI's way. And so we'll take a quick break here at the Houston Fieldhouse. After 2 periods of play, RPI 4, PEI 1. You've been listening to live coverage of Engineer Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
week at the tournament at Notre Dame. The following week, 2 games in Denver. Then they return home the weekend of October 24th and 25th for family and reunion weekend. We'll take on Bentley University both nights. We'll see everyone here during Punk Rock 7 o'clock. Stop at Houston Fieldhouse box office. Grab your tickets tonight or call them at 276-6262. The RPI Pep Band. RPI Men's Hockey would like to wish Colin Easton a happy 18th birthday, and we thank you for celebrating with us. Happy birthday from everyone. College football action this afternoon from Kings Point. Final score, RPI 45, Merchant Marine Academy 14.
Joined by Tom Reel on your home for Engineer Hockey in 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. After 2 periods of play, RPI has a 4-1 lead over PEI. Before we start the third period, we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provides the funding for WRPI and all club-related activity of the Institute that includes WRPI's coverage of hockey, football, and baseball. As a reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org and you can pick up WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So long as WRPI is broadcasting, we will provide the broadcast on your internet feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org. WRPI Sports is seeking current RPI students to make live calls of athletic events such as this one. There are opportunities this season for men's and women's hockey. For more information or express interest, contact us at WRPI-sports@rpi.edu.
2 goals for the Engineers in the second period of play. Victor Liljegren got a power play goal at 4:32 of the period, made it 3-2-1. The assists to Jimmy DeVito and Riley Bourbonnet's second assist of the game. And then at 18:52, a rocket shot by Curtis Leonard from the point. He evaded Parks, making it 4-1 Engineers. The assists to Drew Mellinson and Bradley Bell. So the freshmen certainly getting themselves into the mix here for the most part. They've been a part of 3 of the 4 goals. As mentioned, Riley Bourbonnais has 2 assists here this evening. So some good stuff seen from freshmen and sophomores alike. We've seen goals by a senior, Matt Neal. And we've got senior Scott Diebold in net. Hasn't given up a goal in about 10 minutes of action. We are underway here in the third period. The Engineers moving from right to left across your radio dial here in the third period of play. And RPI, remember, on a major power play to start this period as Brock Bukaboom is off for elbowing Jake Wood. We'll see if Wood comes back to action here in the third period of play. The Engineers can score as many goals as they want on this power play. They'll have the full 5 minutes to do whatever they can. And a shot from the blue line by Bokenfor goes wide, and PEI collects it and sends it back down ice with 4:14 remaining in the penalty to Bukaboom. PEI now setting up on the power play. This is Prapavesis moving across the logo. We've seen him doing some quarterbacking things for the Engineers on their power play thus far here tonight, but that one was not as successful as PEI gets it out. Now it goes the other way with it as Babineau takes a shot shorthanded from the top of the near faceoff circle, and that's a save for Scott Diebold on this power play.
Diebold still in left, shot comes in, hit her off his shoulder, pops up, and gloves it, and falls into his glove. 3:49 left on the penalty to Bokaboom.
Jake Wood is sitting on the RPI bench. As an aside, he's not back in the locker room. We'll see if we can see him back out there on the ice after the hit from Bukaboom at the end of the second period. And there's Bradley at the red line, sends it down ice. It's picked up by Parks in the far corner. He just whips it all the way down ice. And that is Bradley going up to get it. He'll park behind the net. Now comes around the near side. Drops to Leonard, who brings it across the red line, across the blue line. And now Bradley along the blue line. Bradley with it, trying to poke the errant pass back into the net, but it's sent back down by PEI. Wilgosh will be the first one back. Looking for Brown in front of the net. Can't get it to him, and we'll see a stoppage of play as Brown knocks the net off as he moves by.
There's kind of a collision there as he kind of taking a tight turn on the net, just clips the goal and knocks it off. The face-off will remain in the Engineer zone to the right or of Diebold. About a minute 45 has gone by in this third period.
Not really much going for the RPI Engineers on this power play, but they do have about 3 minutes left on the major to Bukaboom. Leonard in the corner. Sends it up for a little Jagrin, taken by Bourbonnais across the blue line. He takes a hit but stays on the puck. Takes another hit and then he'll go down. And PEI snacks up the puck, sends it down ice. There's only so many hits I suppose you can take along that far board. Bourbonnais muscled through the first one and then ended up down on the ice on the second one. So RPI now looking to break back out of their own zone. This is La Liberté across the logo. Leaves it for Neal on the blue line, but La Liberté is just a step offside, so he tried to move in, probably to collect another pass from Neal.
Yeah, he made the pass just before, and I almost thought he got it over, but he looks like he's just having a couple words with linesman Kenny there. But
it might have been a step off. He was eager to get to the net, that's for sure. Panthers win the face-off. They send it right back down. Diebold stops behind the net. And this is Prapavesis moving up. Moving directly through the logo as usual. And he'll drop it off into the corner for La Liberté. Picked up there by the Panthers. They whip it around. Goes around the near boards, all the way back down. Bokenfor kind of leisurely heading back for the puck, but had a man behind him that was coming with all due haste. RPI now just trying to work the puck free in their own end. Bokenfor now along the far boards. That is Andrews giving chase. Now a turnover. Andrews has the puck in the slot, takes a shot, and it's saved by the glove hand of Scott Diebold.
Trying to use Bokenfor right there as a screen. He got the puck came out loose in center ice. Trying to use Bokenfor as a screen a little bit to go far side. Glove side on Diebold. He's able to snag it.
150 left in the major penalty. RPI really still hasn't done much with this power play. They really haven't even gotten themselves set up down in their own end, down in the PEI end. They spent most of it in their own end. This is Bourbonnais moving it out of the Engineers zone. Now in again, going coast to coast again, as he did on a earlier goal. Now back to Bradley at the blue line. Now Bradley at the point. Over to Bourbonnais, now back to Bradley. Bradley winds one up, and it's blocked by the skate of McLaughlin. And now another shot that's saved by Parks. Loose in the slot. Now comes back to Bradley at the blue line. Bradley over to DeVito along the near boards. DeVito brings it back to the end board. And now it's tied up in the feet. That is Armstrong and Bourbonnais trying to work it free, and Lil Jegrin also down there. I'm sorry, that's Lil Jegrin. Now it's going to be fallen down by Armstrong, and now here we go. Parks comes in to join the fray. It's a 6-on-5 melee down there. Diebold is just kind of standing in his own net looking at it, not interested in heading back.
Well, yeah, the goalie's jumping in because he knows the side the team is down a man here, so
there's some wrestling going on.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, you're right. It is 5-on-5 down there. So the penalty.
Oh, there was actually a penalty because Diebold there is just skating around. I thought he actually went to the box.
DeVito's hot under the collar, and he's being shoved into the box by DeMarte. There's going to be multiple penalties on this, I'm certain.
I'm trying to think what actually kind of caused it. I mean, first of all, the PI player just fell on the ice and covered the puck, and I think at that point,
Armstrong fell directly down onto the puck. It was almost like kind of wasting time. You really shouldn't be doing that on the penalty kill. That could be a penalty in and of itself. There's 2 players in the box for Prince Edward Island. Rickman is one of them.
But anytime you fall on the puck like that,
Boom's the other one. So
anytime you fall on the puck, I think what happened is he just kind of speared him with a stick, but the puck is going to be under you. I mean, it did kind of look like an intentional,
I mean, RPI is trying to do something with the puck. They're finally getting themselves down, set up on the power play, and then a player falls directly down on the puck. I think that was Armstrong that fell directly down, and then the PEI players, I think, took exception when Lil Jegrin and I think DeVito was also down there trying to dig the puck out. I mean, obviously, when you've got the momentum, you don't want to have to stop for a face-off.
And so DeVito and Rickman are the only ones in the box right now, which I'm kind of surprised because it just looked like an all-out.
There was serious wrestling going on down there. There were players down on the ice that were just going at each other. This seems to be a pretty commonplace occurrence in these exhibition games. The PEI players coming from a league that's a lot more physical than the NCAA, really. I think some of the physicality is acceptable. I mean, the PEI players are even recognizable down on the ice because they're wearing half shields, which you don't see in college hockey either. So,
and I also, are they allowed to fight in
I believe
college?
I believe they are. I believe
juniors,
in Canadian college hockey, fighting is allowed.
Yeah.
So that plays off of the fact that it's a more physical league than the NCAA tends to be. So certainly not a rare occurrence to see these minor fisticuffs, at least. DeMarte now skating over to Parks. It looks like
they're opening up the back here. Oh, they're sending off the goalie.
Parks is being kicked out of the game. I think probably for leaving his crease. The PEI players are slapping the boards. They're giving him a send-off. And obviously, he was trying to even up the odds there with his team killing a penalty, but he's been sent off the ice. His night's over. They're gonna have to put a goaltender back in. It looks like Wilkinson's getting his helmet back on. He's going to be heading back into this one. There's certainly definite rules for goaltenders getting involved because they have more pads. They're supposed to stay in their crease, and Parks didn't hesitate. He wandered right out into that near corner and joined the fray pretty much immediately. So Parks is gone. We'll have to see if that translates to more, an additional penalty. But Wilkinson is coming back out for the Panthers.
I doubt it. I think it's just going to be like kind of a game misconduct with no penalties or like a game disqualification. I mean, just something enough to get, he gets kicked out, but there's not going to be anything like minutes that are going to go against him, against the team.
There's been nothing put up on the board yet. We do know that Rickman and DeVito are in the box, and now it looks like Bourbonnais has joined him. So now looks like we're going to have what, 4-on-4? We're going to have even. As it looks now, unless they're dishing out a penalty to the goalie, and they're going to have someone serve it.
Yeah.
Leonard is down there talking to the referees. As we mentioned, Bourbonnais has joined DeVito in the box. Rickman is in there along with Bukaboom, who's still serving the major penalty that he was assessed at the end of the second period. He still has 58 seconds remaining on that penalty. Now they've put up a penalty on the board for DeVito. That's a 2-minute penalty. We'll see what that is going to be called. The referee's still trying to sort out this scrum here that occurred with 16:07 left in the third period. RPI with a 4-1 lead in this game. but we're kind of on hold until we get discipline meted out by the Zebras. Not really any motion from either bench. I don't know if anyone's expecting anything more. They put 4 minutes up for Bourbonnais on the board.
Double minor.
It's a double minor.
Yeah,
for something. Well, roughing is roughing's probably a good guess. I don't know if wrestling
could be like a roughing
is
and slashing. You know, maybe he got.
Yeah.
But this is going to be challenging to kind of figure this all out.
I'm actually a little bit shocked that Armstrong isn't in the box for what could have been an initial penalty of delay of game for falling down on the puck, because the puck was directly below him, and he looked like he wasn't taken down at all, like he just decided to leave his feet and drop to the ice to tie that up. I'm not sure why he would have done that in that situation, but it didn't look like he was being helped down to the ice at all. And that seems to have been the genesis of what started everything, because the RPI players who were fighting for the puck then started to be poking him in his ribs with their sticks, trying to get it out.
So we got a major there. It's going against it's like the goalie, right?
Yeah,
Parks
49. There? That's Parks, the goaltender. He takes a major. I don't know if they're going to say he was taking swings. Is that a penalty for fighting, or what is that? But
Right.
Obviously, if he gets a game disqualification, I'm sure he doesn't really care what an American referee says about whether he's going to be suspended for the next game. So
Right. It's expedition too.
So as it shakes out, there's a 5-minute penalty on the board for Parks. There's 4 minutes on the board for Bourbonnais, and there's 2 minutes on the board for DeVito. And in the mix is 58 seconds remaining on the major penalty against Bookaboo. So we're gonna really just have to wait and see exactly what the call is here before we can ascertain whether there's some kind of advantage. There's 2 players in the box for both teams, so are we going to see 4-on-4? Is it 3-on-3? Who's got an advantage for how long? Is this exactly what's going on here? Leonard and
Bradley's
Wilgosh.
in there too.
Leonard and Wilgosh are still talking it out.
Bradley looks like he hopped in there also.
And the RPI box is filling quickly. Yep. Bradley has joined the growing party in the RPI box. Now I'm wondering if there's going to be an addition here for Prince Edward Island as well, because somebody's got to serve the penalty for Parks at least.
Yeah. Looks like 95 here.
Tricito. He's just bringing Rickman his helmet. Okay.
Oh, never mind. Okay. False alarm.
So they're continuing to debate. Wilgosh with Leonard. Referees have crossed the ice about 4 times now, talking to both benches. We're going on about 5 minutes here since we've seen the last action. Appert now talking with the referees and Leonard.
Well, there's only 2 slots on the scoreboard here, so 3 in the box for the Engineers, 2 in the box of the PEI,
and only of which only one is. Yeah. So the question is Rickman serving a penalty for Parks? Rickman's in the box with Bookaboo for PEI, but his number is not up on the board. So since there's only 2 slots on the board, maybe he's got a penalty too, and maybe they're just waiting to see if someone's going to serve it. Now we've got another Panther player skating in the direction of the penalty box, but no.
So
it's also
looks like he's going to serve.
The faceoff's also going to be done in front of the penalty box. So I see 1, 2, 3.
3 on 3.
3 on 3. Okay, that's the way it shakes out. Lots of open ice out there as we get back to play. RPI's power play ends. They didn't score on it. Now Leonard taking a quick shot that goes wide of Wilkerson, who's back in the net unexpectedly. I'm sure he thought his night was over. Now Wilkerson's just going to poke the puck loose, and here we go the other way with it. Swings back down to D'Souza. A lot of open ice out there. You don't see 3 on 3 very frequently. Babineau across the blue line as they start to announce the penalties, and Ryan will take a note on what those are. Schrader now down in the zone end and leaves it for Leonard. The Bookaboo penalty ends in 20 seconds. We'll see if there's a power play for Prince Edward Island that comes out of that. And Schrader Gets driven into the boards by Armstrong. Looks like he might have lost an edge. Didn't get all of that hit. Turns over the puck to Tricito. Crosses over the blue line, leaves it for D'Souza. D'Souza walks into the slot and takes a shot that goes over the net. Picked up along the far boards by McGowan. He'll drop it all the way down ice as PEI does look like they're on the power play now as Bukaboom is out of the box. Their power play should last for another 44 seconds, and then I believe that'll be DeVito coming out of the box for RPI. So PEI now on the power play, 4-on-3. Ashley takes it across the red line. Now skates along the blue line as he waits for his players to get onside. Drops it for Armstrong at the point. Armstrong now to Tricito. Slides back to the point. Takes a shot, goes off Karate's skate, and it's picked up by Ashley. Ashley walking into the slot, drops it back for Tricito in the point. Now Armstrong whips a one-timer from the top of the near face-off circle, and it's gloved down by Diebold.
Okay, so Parks here is getting the 5-minute major game misconduct for face masking is actually the call. Bourbonnais getting double minor, slashing and roughing, and DeVito getting for roughing, 2-minute minor.
DeVito's penalty ending in 13 seconds, at which point it looks like we'll be 4-on-4 for about 2 minutes. And then RPI with a short power play on the Parks major. And that'll do it for the DeVito penalty. Back to, say, 4-on-4 at least. As PEI dumps the puck into the RPI end. DeVito going to give chase in the near corner. Pushes up to Bokenfour. Bokenfour across the red line, across the blue line, looking up. Taking a shot from the top of the near faceoff circle that's just sticked away by Wilkinson. DeVito into the corner to grab it. A pass by Neal bounced off somebody, looked like it was almost on net, but PEI just whips it away and gets it out of the zone. Bokenfour now, D-to-D pass over to Reno. Back to Bokenfour. Bokenfour, DeVito drops it off for Neal. Reno tries to carry it across the logo but loses a handle on it. And now PEI with it into the RPI end. Pass across for Bukaboom. Bukaboom walks in, takes a shot, and it goes off of Diebold and into the corner, and the Engineers collect. This is Neal circling around trying to get away from his man. Tries to pass it, deflected by Andrews, and Brenton takes it in the RPI zone. Stolen away by Bell. Bell now over for Reno. Reno up to Melanson. Tries to find, looks like Nanny with a pass, but it's intercepted by PEI. Now Melanson intercepts in the neutral zone. Walks into the slot. The guy in front of him takes a shot, goes wide. And now the Panthers going the other way. 39 seconds left on the double minor to Bourbonnais, at which point the Engineers will get a 1-minute power play for the remainder of the Parks penalty. Nanny to Melanson along the RPI blue line. Now Nanny on the near boards, gains the zone, over to Melanson. Now a shot by Bradley goes just wide of the net. That shot coming from the point as Bradley looking to get into the action here. Now Nanny across for Bradley. Bradley at the top of the faceoff circle just dumps behind the net. He's picked up there by Armstrong, and PEI looks to break out. Intercepted on the logo by Wilson. Wilson across the ice for Melanson. Melanson looking up, trying to find someone to pass it to. Instead, he waits for Leonard. Leonard coming in. Leonard now taking the puck behind the PEI net. Looking up, looking for someone to pass to. Finds Prapavesis at the top of the slot. Prapavesis stick handles it over to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais taking a shot saved by Wilkinson. Comes back to him at the top of the slot, and a shot by Leonard. That's a power play goal for Curtis Leonard. It's his second of the game, unless that one was deflected. I'm not sure who it would have gone off of, but he took a shot from the top of the far faceoff circle. That beat Wilkinson and puts RPI up 5-1.
The shot was taken low and stayed low all the way through, and just found its way deep. And goaltender there, Wilkinson on the right side, and with 44 seconds remaining on the major penalty, that will still hold, and that'll count as a power play goal for the Engineers.
And the Engineers remain on the power play because of the second major penalty, even though they only got a total of, or will get a total of a minute off of this power play. They're saying that it is Leonard, it is the senior captain, his second goal of the night, putting the Engineers up 5-1. RPI still on the power play. They bring it back into the PEI zone. This is Laliberte in the near corner. Around from Neal on the far boards. And it's picked up by PEI. They send it out of the zone. That is Wilgosh giving chase. He'll pick it up. Sends it to Brown in the slot. He's the goal scorer for PEI. Scored the first goal of this game. He can't get a handle on it. Now Prapaves is doing battle along the end boards. Gets control of it. Now has it behind the RPI net. Spins around. Gets it to La Liberté. La Liberté has to spin around, trying to get around the forechecker, which is Wilgosh. Now La Liberté across the logo into the zone. Onside, but it's picked up by the Panthers and just kind of scored it out to Wilson at the red line. McGowan can't bring it in around Babineau as he has it stolen off of his stick. Now Babineau into the zone. Got kind of 2-on-2. It was kind of a sloppy play by both teams. The Engineers coming away with it in the end. Fulton coming up 1-on-3. Babineau lays him out. And that allows PEI to counterattack. Both teams back to 5-a-side, I think. There's no more power play, no more penalties left up on the board. The boxes are empty for the first time since the late in the second period, and now there's more discussion, we'll say, going on to the right of Scott Diebold in the RPI zone.
And goals going to Curtis Leonard and assists to Riley Bourbonnais and Mike Prepavestis.
So 2 goals for Leonard here tonight, 3 assists for Riley Bourbonnais, who's been pretty much all over the place here tonight. He's certainly showing a little bit of skill here to start off his sophomore season. Face off in the RPI zone, won by the Panthers. And the Engineers collect it eventually in the far face-off circle. Reno tries to get it out, kept in by the Panthers. And now it is McQuaid behind the net. McQuaid coming around into the near corner. He has Reno with him. And now they'll try to fight for it. Reno gets it loose and gets up to Miller. Miller moving across the red line. Pushes the puck up into the near corner. Metcalf is there to collect it for the Panthers, and he'll just send it out of the zone. Almost out of the zone. Is taken by Reno instead and kept in. Miller can't get a hold on it because Armstrong was kind of holding the back of his jersey. PEI sends it down the ice for icing with 9:54 left in the third period. RPI with a comfortable 5-1 lead.
I think at this point, I think RPI, having the man advantages, I think what they really need to work on is actually setting up, winning the faceoff in their own zone, and setting up and then passing it around in the blue in their own zone.
PEI wins the faceoff in their own zone. They're bringing it out as we speak. Intercepted by Little Jagger. He's 2-on-1 with Melanson. Gets the pass across, but Melanson ends up losing it in his skates. And Prapavestis is there to keep it in the zone twice. Now Prapavestis skating in. Leads Melanson a little bit too much on the pass. This freshman still picks it up. Now Prapavestis skating in. Goes over the net. I think that might have glanced off of Wilkinson. The puck comes back up to Prapavestis at the point. Here's Little Jagger taking a quick shot turnaround at the top of the slot. Not sure where it is, but it's definitely covered up. And now Wood looks like he's got some unfinished business with Metcalf, and Metcalf is certainly willing to oblige him. And it's going to be broken up pretty quickly, though, as Wood skates away. Metcalf is without his helmet.
Yeah, Metcalf was definitely instigating that one, just actually holding down his head on the ice and putting pressure, and then he kind of got off. And
he'd already taken a penalty for going after Wood, and it looks like he's heading back into the box, and they're going to get Wood too. It looks like Wood tried to skate right back to the RPI bench like he didn't do anything, but they're going to snag him too. I mean, they were exchanging pleasantries with each other, so it's going to be matching minors for Metcalf and Wood. They've done battle throughout this game. They're sitting side by side, separated by a thin pane of glass. Now Wood is being escorted out of the box. Looks like he's.
How the heck?
Well, it looks like Metcalf's night is going to be over too. So it's.
Well, it looks. Well, okay, yeah, okay. I think they're just done with this.
It's like okay, you guys have had enough tonight.
10-minute misconduct, probably. That's a perfect thing to put out.
With 9:17 left in a 4-goal game, it's just like, hey guys, just take a shower. It's just chill out. It's done.
10-minute misconduct. That's the call. 2-minute minors there. Who is it? Doesn't look like they're having anyone serve them. Or no, I'm sure they will. They have to have someone. No, actually, I don't know.
Well, looks like they're going 4-on-4, so they're going to have somebody in there for both squads. So matching minors for roughing, and then misconducts because they're repeat offenders, basically. Well, Jake Wood really kind of picking up where he left off, as he was one of the team leaders in penalty minutes last year, despite playing in only 17 games for RPI. He had injury issues. He did pick up a game DQ at some point during the season too, so he's one of the more enforcer types for the Engineers, but he's got a decent stick out there as well offensively, so he's an asset for the Engineers, but not anymore in this game.
Zurich there going in for PEI and Phil Hampton for RPI.
So 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes. We're 9:15 remaining. Just a reminder, you're listening to live coverage of Engineers hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Tom Reel and Ryan Clark with you on the call as the puck ends up down in the RPI zone. PEI looking to set up here, 4-on-4. Up to Rickman at the blue line. Rickman walks into the point, takes a shot that goes wide, well wide. And Bradley picks up, and now RPI looking to go the other way with it. Here is McGowan across the logo, across the blue line. Drops for Schrader near boards. And now Wilson tries to drop it back, but it's picked up by Rickman. And now Rickman up to Brenton. Brenton skates across the blue line, takes a shot, and Diebold gloves that one aside over to the far boards. And now RPI moving the other way with it. Bradley Bell, a freshman out of Sudbury, Ontario, moves it alone into the RPI zone. He has his trailers with him now. Nanny covering his point. And that'll squirt out by the stick of Prapavessis. Now that's Bell getting laid out there by D'Souza. Schrader going after the puck in the far corner of the RPI zone. Prapavessis is able to give D'Souza enough of a pick to let Schrader grab the puck. Now Schrader moving the puck across the red line, across the blue line. Drops it off. Now Prapavessis at the top of the slot. Has himself all alone. Takes a shot. Saved by Wilkinson. Squirts back out to Schrader at the top of the point. And he takes a shot that rifles just wide. There's some physicality going on behind the PEI net. There's going to be a penalty coming up on. It's going to be a holding call on Prapavessis. The crowd reacted because Melanson rifled that one directly into the back of the net over Wilkinson's shoulder, but the whistle blew as soon as he touched the puck, and Prapavessis is going to get caught for holding here, and it's a good call.
Yeah. It kind of was, the PI player was going to break out, kind of tied up with him, and maybe a little bit of selling, but it was a worthy call.
Yeah, he just kind of just got it outmaneuvered there and ended up taking out his frustration by holding the guy that had gotten the jump on him. So a power play now for PEI. Shot from near the top of the slot by Tricito goes wide after hitting an RPI player in front. Now Tricito back with the puck at the point. Leaves it for Armstrong. Armstrong takes a shot that rifles wide. It went through everybody. And now Karate drops his man over on the far boards. Tries to push it out, but it's kept in by Tricito. Now Tricito gets leveled. That was a hit laid by Mark Miller. Now PEI with the puck along the far boards, up to Tricito at the top of the face-off circle. And Balkenfor will grab it in the near corner. Puck comes back to the top of the slot, and that's in the net. Tricito with a rifle. We've seen a couple of those today, but they were from Curtis Leonard. That gets through everyone past Diebold, and that makes it 5-2 on the power play for PEI.
Yeah, it's a power play goal to them. Their first in this contest. I want to say, with all that mix-up, I want to say that was the third power play opportunity. And therefore
it's hard to say at this point.
Hard to say. I'm trying to keep track with all these.
Tricito, a senior out of Oakville, Ontario. He has pro experience, as his last team prior to PEI was Ontario of the East Coast Hockey League, the ECHL, or I guess it's just the ECHL now. But anyway, former minor league player playing in this game for PEI. Gets one back for them. They now trail 5-2 with 6:37 left in the third period. All the penalties are expired. The penalty to Prapavessis expired with the goal, and now the player serving the minors for Metcalf and Wood also out of the box. So we're back at 5-a-side as the puck comes down on Diebold, and he covers it up with 6:18 left in the third period. RPI up 5-2.
I think at this point you don't want to kind of escalate anything further. Just don't want to be charging or any injuries. You don't want, either team right now doesn't want to kind of escalate the physical play any further than it needs to, and just to kind of avoid any type of injuries that could amount from it.
Face-off one in the RPI zone by PEI. Andrews at the top of the slot, takes a shot, goes wide. He gets it back up to the blue line, but it is not held in there by Bukaboom, and PEI has to go back and give chase. D'Souza can't get it across the blue line as Bokenfor is in the way. Now D'Souza gets it over the blue line, takes a shot that's kicked aside by Diebold. And now Bokenfor behind the RPI net. Tries to circle to get around away from Andrews, and they'll do battle in the near corner. Puck comes free to D'Souza in the near face-off circle. Up for Brenton, now along the blue line to Rickman, who rips a shot that's saved by Diebold. Didn't know where it was, but it ends up over in the corner as Wilson and Andrews kind of guided over there. That'll come along to the near boards now from behind the net. Quick shot from the near boards by Bukaboom is saved by Diebold, and he'll hold on.
PEI's goal scored by Tracito, and assist going to Brown.
Tyler Brown, the player out of Michigan. His goal and assist tonight for the Panthers. Face-off coming to the right of Scott Diebold. Won by PEI. Back up to Tracito at the point. He just barely keeps it in. Sends it back down, and now a whistle blow. I guess they're going to say it came out. Late whistle if that is icing, or
looks like intentional too.
Intentional. I'm not sure you can call intentional on a play that close for offsides. Maybe a hand, must be a hand pass.
Yeah.
That was awful close along that blue line. But face-off now comes to the right of Connor Wilkinson. Won by PEI. They've been really dominating in the circle here tonight, although they're a lot bigger and more experienced than the Engineers are. But nonetheless, RPI with a 3-goal lead here with just under 5 minutes to play in the third period. A couple of shots just to the side of the net with Diebold right up against the post. And the second one he ends up holding on to.
4:53 here left in the third period. RPI with a 5-2 lead over PEI.
5 different players in this game from Oakville, Ontario. You've got Phil Hampton from RPI. You've got Travis Fulton. And you've got a couple of guys, Reggie Tracito, as RPI's Scott Diebold covers that one up. You've got Reggie Tracito and Spencer Metcalf from the Toronto suburb. And there's one more that I'm missing for RPI. Mike Prapavesis, the freshman. So 5 different players, all from the same town, playing in this game in Troy, New York. Miller steps in for the Engineers on the face-off. It gets dropped with a whistle right away. Looks like they're going to kick McLaughlin out. McLaughlin's being kicked out of the circle for PEI. They're going to do this again with D'Souza instead, facing off against Mark Miller. Face-off won by the Engineers. Bell over to DeVito, and now Miller bringing it across the logo. He's got Fulton coming with him. Miller loses the handle. Fulton can't grab it. And now it is the Panthers coming away with it, trying to get it out. They eventually do, as Bell ended up having to bring it out of his own zone in order to keep control. Now DeVito brings it across onside. He'll drop it down behind the net for Fulton. Fulton giving chase. Can't get a handle on it. Tries to kick it to Bell. Bell ends up having to go up to battle with McLaughlin in order to control the puck, and the puck ends up behind him and out of the zone. Reno now coming back across. Goes behind the net. Wilkinson there to pick it up. Tries to put it out in front, but it goes right off of Miller. That's a dangerous play for PEI. Fortunately, it ends up going down the ice and doesn't do them any damage, but on the icing call, the face-off will be back down in their own end.
Kind of try to off that up just to trickle land in the neutral zone and just kind of slow down. But that one just kept going. And icing call. Face off here to the right of Wilkinson.
This is McLaughlin and McGowan. It'll be won by Prince Edward Island. Babineau in the corner. Up for McQuaid. I still can't get it out. It's held in by Bokenfor on the far board. Now, shot by Bokenfor, tipped in front. I think it was Babineau tipping it just wide. Schrader will go get it, and he gives it back to Bokenfor. Bokenfor dumps it back down for Schrader. Schrader, I don't think he saw the pass as he kind of just left it go. Wilkinson back down for McGowan. McGowan behind the net with Schrader. He'll come out with it and pass it up to the blue line for Bokenford. Bokenford takes a shot that hit somebody in front. Wilkinson didn't know exactly where it was going, but it went just wide. Now PEI gets it out of the zone. That's going to dribble down the ice, and that'll be icing once more.
There was a McGowan there, just at the doorstep trying to get the deflection. I think that went up above, but hard as hell. I think also wide, but decent shots, decent reshots being laid from the outside of the faceoff circle in the zone. The icing here in the call, and not sure if they ever did get a chance to change, but timeout is being called by PEI, and
yeah, two straight icing calls on the Panthers, so they're calling timeout to give their players a little bit of a breather. Yeah. It's not looking good for them. They are running low on time, and they got a pretty deep hole to dig out of. It's 3:14 remaining here in the third period. Engineers holding a 5-2 lead. It's been a wild affair. It was kind of a stalemated first period for the most part, up until the point where PEI broke onto the score sheet late, and then suddenly a kind of a goal bonanza as RPI picked up 2 more before the end of the period to make it 2-1.
Total 17 penalties here, 9 for PEI with 40 minutes total, and 8 for RPI with 24. Shots on goal are 30-24 in favor of RPI. Face-off wins here going to PEI with 37-31. And power play RPI 2 for 5 and PEI 1 for 3.
So if you're keeping track at home, there's a total of 64 penalty minutes between the two teams, and we've only played about 57 total minutes in the game. So more penalty minutes have been meted out than actual game minutes. Coming back into action, La Liberté against McLaughlin. Won by McLaughlin back to Babineau. PEI is going to be looking to get themselves to the point where they can move the puck, although they get it up to D'Souza one-on-one with Reno. That'll allow the Panthers to change behind the play. That's what they were looking for. D'Souza keeps Reno bottled up long enough to get that change done, and now the Engineers back with the puck. Here's Reno. Trying to circle away to get away from McIsaac as the Panthers complete their final change. Engineers still can't get it out of their own end. And now a blind pass is intercepted by Neal. McIsaac was just looking to send it somewhere to see, trying to make something work. Now Mazurek takes a wild backhanded shot that goes wide as he curled around the net. Bourbonnais gets it out. Now McIsaac sends it back to Bukaboom. Intercepted by Lil Zegrin along the red line. He'll bring it in alone, 1-on-3. Doesn't really have much to do with it, loses the handle on it, and now it's back in the hands of the Panthers. They'll shoot into the neutral zone. Prapavestis along his own blue line tries to tap it back out. Now it's Wilson in the RPI end for Lil Zegrin. Across the logo is Hampton. Hampton curls around. It's up to Prapavestis along the blue line. He takes a shot that looked like it was a kind of a light shot or a pass, whiffed on it anyway. Kept control, but lost it right there for Brent Andrews. And now the puck saucering back down into the PEI end. Panthers pick it up. And an errant pass along the RPI blue line ends up on the stick of Melanson, and RPI will play pitch and catch in their own end as they look to move back down the ice with about 90 seconds remaining here in the game. RPI with a 5-2 lead as Wilson gains the zone. Hampton with a shot, bouncing puck in front, and it is Armstrong that comes away with it. Armstrong gets it up ice to D'Souza with a cross-ice pass into the zone. That puck came in on net from behind in the far corner, and Diebold quickly smothers it with 1:11 left in the third period.
Yeah, smart play there. Wilson just kind of kicking it, just shoveling it to Diebold just to kind of get it covered. 1:11 here in the third period. Face off to the right.
This is Miller against Ashley on the face-off. Won by the Panthers. Puck just bounces to Diebold. He'll drop to his knees, cover it up, and we will have another face-off. .107 left in this one. Successful exhibition outing for the Engineers. They've got to show off some of their power play skill. They got to show off some of their offensive skill from the blue line. And as we enter the last minute of this game, RPI is looking to finish this one on a high note on their way out to the next 4 games out west against some very tough opponents. Miller with it in the neutral zone. He'll just drop it. Looks like he was looking for Fulton there, and the puck will head all the way down ice. DeVito, the first one to it, drops it for Fulton. Fulton coming around the net. Gets it back up to the blue line for Wilson. Wilson across for Reno. Reno takes a shot that whistles wide. Fulton in the near corner, grabs control of the loose puck. And it's Fulton now. Up to Wilson along the near boards with a cross ice pass. His kind of floating shot gets gloved down. He ends up back with the puck again. Takes a shot that was going wide, but Wilkinson grabs it nonetheless for the faceoff with 11.4 seconds left in the game.
Well, I think, yeah, like you said before, RPI coming out of this with some confidence. You know, they came out pretty, they come out pretty weak, but they finished off strong, and that's kind of the most important thing.
Well, it ends up being hard to draw any conclusions from the score, but RPI is still looking a little bit sharper than you might expect them to see early in the season. They're sloppy early in this game. RPI sloppy early in this game, but they certainly were able to tighten it up as the game went along. And it's kind of an air of confidence almost when they were moving the puck, especially in transition, and especially with some of those younger defensemen. They were looking like they were pretty hungry out there.
But the breakouts vastly improved. It just seemed like they just weren't at all communicating, or they weren't at all like knowing where each other were on the ice. So they just struggled almost to break out. But I think beyond those two goals, I want to say the second period, they really started breaking out really well and having confidence. But no, I would say, I mean, it's an exhibition game, but and you got the whole team on the ice, and you're going to be playing, I mean, almost, the whole team. So you're going to always be playing with people that you're not typically paired up with, and you're going to be cycling around just to get the ice time. So
right. There wasn't a lot of congruity with the lines that were out there. You always see that they jumble them up just to see what they can get out of them. They frequently have some of the younger guys stepping up anyway, just to give them some game time experience and get them that little bit of lift under their wings to kind of step up and take the lead. You really didn't see an awful lot of guys like Matt Neal, Mark McGowan. Jacob Delute was in there quite a bit, but I mean some of the senior guys, some of the ones that'll be the ones that this team is probably going to end up leaning on, given the way Seth Appert coaches the teams. He always says he wants the seniors and the juniors to be the ones to step up. Didn't see that really here tonight, but I think the focus was really on getting some of the younger guys some of that experience. And all of that really adds up to an inability to take a lot out of this game going forward. To say, well, RPI's power play looks good, and say, well, their defensive attack looks really good. Well, they're not going to play a team like Prince Edward Island again in the future. They're not going to be jumbling lines like this, and some of the guys that were taking a starring role in this game might not see them in that role in the future. But when they were placed in a starring role in this game, guys like Lou Nanny, guys like especially Victor Liljegren, we heard his name all night, they stepped up and they delivered for RPI in this contest, which at this point, moving on.
Yeah, it's always good to have the senior guys actually kind of show the amount of intensity to the game and set an example, and have the freshmen and newcomers basically kind of follow through. The first goal here, I mean, the shot being made by Zach Schrader, RPI, and then Lou Nanny that scooping it up, and he just, capitalizing on it. The first goal of the game, or first goal of the season, well, I don't say season, but first goal of their first contest is going to a freshman. Right?
Well, we'll quickly run down the scoring here and kind of work our way through the penalties as well, as Ryan comes up with his offensive and defensive engineers of the game. PEI struck first in the first period at 12:38. A goal by Tyler Brown, assisted by Darcy Ashley, gave the Panthers a 1-0 edge. And a few minutes later at 18:38, a goal by Lou Nanny from Zach Schrader and Mark McGowan made it 1-1. Mere seconds later, Matt Neal scored. An even strength goal from Riley Bourbonnais and Luke Karai that made it 2-1. That put the Engineers on top for good. RPI extended their lead in the second period with a goal by Victor Liljegren, assisted by Jimmy DeVito and Riley Bourbonnais. RPI's fourth goal was scored by Curtis Leonard. That was at 18:52 of the first period. Should mention that the Liljegren goal was a power play marker at 4:32. 18:52, right at the end of the second period. Curtis Leonard scoring from Drew Mellinson, and Bradley Bell made it 4-1. Leonard would also score the next goal in a very similar fashion, although from closer to the net, and his second goal of the game at 8:10 of the third period, with the assists to Riley Bourbonnais and Mike Prapavesis. That's 3 assists on the night for Bourbonnais. And then PEI got one back late, 13:05 of the third period. Reggie Tracito with the lone assist going to Tyler Brown, who had points on both of PEI's goals this evening. The power play, say 1 for 3 for